What's up, Internet? You're tuning in episode 71 of the FlipScreen Games Podcast, a weekly video game podcast where a couple of best buds from different nations come together to discuss the wide, wide world of video games. I'm your host, Pete and Bessie, joined, as always, by my very good friend and co-host, this is Stephen Radford.
Hello.
Hello, Steve. Welcome to the final episode of the year. Not even just of the FlipScreen Games Podcast. This is the last recording of 2022 for us.
We made it. Congratulations, Pete.
Congratulations to you, buddy.
Here with me.
Oh no! Don't put it like that. No, come on. This has been a triumph of a year for us. You know, kidding me? 1K subs.
Oh yeah, it's been great.
We brought on, not one but two new hosts. We launched a new show. We launched a whole new type of content with the incredible work that you've done with all those Steam Deck tutorials and like how much that grew the channel. Like it's been a great year. It's been a great year.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good, and I'm ready to claim victory on the predictions.
See, and here's the thing, Steve. Right? Like, I hope you remember how out of my, I'll say this now. I'll say this now, right? Because it's gonna get ugly later. I love you. You're a dear friend. I'm so happy to be on this ride together. I think we work so well together. But I gotta say, I'm looking forward to pounding you into the ground like a steak today, because I
don't know if that's gonna happen. We'll have to wait and see.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. But that's, of course, we're talking about today. We are naming the winner of our 2022 predictions. This is the second year in a row we've done this, of course, and the twist, as it were, this year, right, is of course that last year, when I claimed victory, the understanding was that the loser was going to play a game of the winner's choice, right? And of course, Steve purchased the Mass Effect trilogy and played 5 minutes of it and then sold it.
Did not play 5 minutes, but I also felt like getting to play a trilogy was kind of a big ask.
You agreed to it. And I was gonna play all of Hitman if I lost. That was the understanding.
Hitman's a good game, so you were in for a win-win situation.
You don't be out here throwing shade like that, all right? Don't. All right. Okay.
I can't help it.
So what we decided this year, of course, was that we would instead have a trophy, and that's going to be how we honor our.
Don't reveal it down. I'm
not. I'm out draping a cover over it, actually, so it's more dramatic.
I need a good photo of it though for the thumbnail.
We'll worry about that later. So we're gonna name that champion today, and the winner will take the trophy. And then, of course, when we're done with that, we've got a couple questions, some really meaty ones here, in the question block from you, the community, to close things out. So it's gonna be a great episode. Yeah. I'm excited to get into it. And Steve, I just hope that.
We start.
Oh, okay. What do you got?
I want everyone right now, to write in the comments who they think has won the 2022 predictions. And then at the end, when we find out, just write back there and just be like, yeah, I was right, Steve won. And we'll then know, won't we? That
sure.
People have faith in.
Yeah, who people have faith in. You know what, Steve? I'll tell you what. I have faith in your ability to rally the people against me when I win. I don't really have.
I'm a politician, you see.
Yeah, but you're not a winner though, right? Like, I am a champion of this game, and I don't say that to brag. I just say it because it's a fact. So We'll see what happens.
Okay.
So let's jump into it. So our lists, right? We both had a list of 11 predictions. 10 standard predictions, and then our risky picks. Of course, the risky picks are things that are supposed to be outlandish predictions that are not based on any, existing knowledge or information that's available, and they are worth double the points. Of course, we've had some upsets this year with the risky picks, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Boy, were you so close. You were so close. You could taste it on that one. But so yeah, I guess, how do you want to go about it, Steve? Do we just go through both lists? Do you want to go one for one?
Let's go one for one, and
Sure.
I'll be picking holes in every single one. So just prepare yourself.
I was born ready. All right, so number one, my first prediction was that PSVR 2 would not be released this year due to chip shortages.
Now I think this should be half a point personally, because I do not think it wasn't released due to chip shortages.
Can you prove
I
that?
think no, but can you prove it was? Like
No.
the onus is on you to prove that they said it's not coming because of chip shortages. I think it's not released because they didn't have the software. They were busy getting other games out that they wanted to ship, and they wanted to focus on actually making like PlayStation 5s and selling more of those, so they have a bigger install base before the PSVR 2 comes. I don't think it's related to chip shortages personally.
Here's the thing, though. I got it right. Right? It's not coming out this year.
No, it's not coming out this year. You got half a point.
I'll tell you what. I think I get 75% of a point.
75% of a point.
Yeah.
Is that even a thing?
It is.
75. I
Yeah.
actually think it's more 0.66. You know, maybe you got two.
No. We gotta do it by fives. You know, it's gotta be reasonable. I think we do it in intervals of 25. You can get a quarter of a point, a half a point, 75%, full point.
Why do you think 75? Like, there's two things. PSVR will not be released this year, and then the second half is due to chip shortages.
It's not second half. I didn't say and, right? Like, come on. It's not like a hedged, you know. I think
You just don't want it because you know the next one is also going to be half.
Yeah, I want to set a precedent here. I want to set a precedent that works to my advantage.
I can't set that precedent. I cannot set that precedent.
No, I think you can.
No, I don't think I can. I think, Phil, that your number one and your number two should get 1 point in total.
My number two is Xbox will not release new hardware at the end of Xbox All Access. Same argument, right?
Due to chip shortages.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
So I'm saying.
I think those two combined is 1 point, personally. I think we should go with one, and we'll loop back at the end once you've dug holes in all of mine.
Fine, we'll loop back. But
for now, 1 point. They're both correct.
Both correct.
I think that's 1 point for the two of them.
Number three, NFTs will be an extremely common talking point in gaming this year. They will be unpopular with most gamers and largely unsuccessful. Backlash or regulation/pressure from governments will cause traditional games publishers to get gun-shy about it in the later half of the year. This is spot on.
I do not believe it is spot on.
In what way?
I don't think we've had any regulation or pressure from governments at all in any way, shape, or form.
I said backlash or. And backlash was a part of it. They were unsuccessful.
Backlash or regulation/pressure from government.
It's one or the other.
From the government.
I said or.
Okay.
I said either.
I thought it was backlash or regulation pressure.
Yeah, it's either backlash or pressure.
I also don't think it was gun shy in the latter half of the year. I think this was slam dunk out the gate. Everyone realized NFTs were a shitty idea. I don't also think
nobody's talking about them now.
Yeah, I don't think it was an extremely common talking point in gaming this year. I think it was a talking point, but it fizzled out pretty soon.
But in the beginning of the year, it was a common talking point. We had a whole situation. Think about this. A major news story this year, right, was that Square Enix sold off their Western studios because
that was nonsense.
But
they just wanted to use that as an invest. That was investor talk.
You're right.
That wasn't in gaming, really.
But it still absolutely meets the criteria of what I'm talking about, right? Like, there were companies who were all in talking about it at the beginning of the year and the end of last year, right? And then there was backlash, and everybody was like, "Okay, never mind. Nobody's gonna bite on this," and they backed off. And now those same companies are not talking about NFTs anymore.
They're not? You don't think Square Enix is talking about it?
When's the last time they mentioned it?
I'm gonna look it up. I'm sure that people are still talking about NFTs. Yeah, 3rd of November, 2022. Final Fantasy maker Square Enix reveals its first Ethereum NFT.
All right, look, they already announced it earlier this year. Of course, they're gonna put it.
Oh, okay, but they didn't get guns. They didn't backlash. They got backlash. They didn't renege on it. They carried on. They pressed on. They've announced today, Symbogenesis is described as a digital collectible art experience.
What a terrible name.
It's a brand new franchise for Square Enix.
How long is that going to
So
last?
I don't think you can say if
I don't think you can argue that traditional
symbiogenesis.
game publishers are not have not moved away from NFTs because Square Enix is following up with the thing they announced earlier this year.
What's going on with Ubisoft Quartz as well? They
Yeah,
had
where's that at?
in they had that it looks like in September they were still talking about it. I don't really know what's happened with that though. I don't know that you get a whole point for this one. I think I'll say maybe there's 75% of a point in this one. But I feel
This
like
guy.
there's not a whole point in there.
All right, we'll circle back. Number 4, clear L, right? Number 4. Oh wait, we're supposed to be going back and forth. So
Okay,
you
well
do
I'll
one.
do my number
Yeah.
1 then.
We did 2 of
Which I
mine at the
think
same
is
time because
slam.
they were similar.
Yeah, my number 1 is Slam Dunk. PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus combined into a single service.
Yep. Yeah, you get a point for that.
Happened. It was great. We all knew it was going to happen. I got that one in number 1 because I was just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
My number 2, PlayStation VR is releasing this year. No, it's not. For $499, it's more expensive than that. And it will work with PCs. Well, we don't know that yet. I think it probably still will, but they've not announced it. So that's a big, big no-no.
Yeah, just L's across the board on that one.
Yeah.
All right, so then do your number 3.
I'll do my number 3. Microsoft will release new hardware available through Xbox All Access. It did not happen.
No,
It was planned. Phil Spencer seemingly has confirmed it was planned.
didn't happen though.
It was meant to be the streaming box, but the streaming box got cancelled, and it was because it was too expensive. So it was a real shame.
Not for me. So my number 4, Steam Deck will be delayed again. That did not happen. It came out. It was
Definitely
successful.
did not happen. And we're really happy about that. And if you don't know anything about the Steam Deck, don't know where you've been, but go check out the Steam Deck podcast, our sister show, where we talk all about it every single week. It's great.
Yeah, this week we talked all about this exact prediction and how that was a crazy what a shift, right?
It made sense though, right? Like they delayed it, I think,
Yeah.
maybe twice at that point, or maybe that was the first delay. I don't know.
I think it
And
was the
like,
first, and I thought there would be a second. I think was what happened.
And that makes sense. Like based on their track record, it was like, okay, I could see that happening. But
Yeah, it felt like a safe bet, you know?
Yeah. Thankfully, it did not happen.
Happy to be wrong.
I really had a good time with my Steam Deck this year.
Yeah.
My number 4, a publisher or developer will make a point of saying, and it doesn't include any NFTs during a presentation, and this happened.
And you're out
at
here
Jeff
arguing
Keighley's
that my
conference.
thing wasn't accurate, but that's fine.
I'm not saying that yours wasn't. I wasn't saying that yours wasn't accurate. You're saying that traditional game publishers will get gun shy about it in the latter half of the year.
Yeah.
You use Square Enix as a perfect example.
No.
In November,
No,
they
I didn't.
released their first NFT.
No, you're
game.
twisting it. What I said was they were an example of they made news early in the year. You argued that there was no big news about it earlier in the year. I didn't say that they then backed off.
What about Sega's NFT game that was announced in the 29th of September?
I'll give you that.
Like, there are still people in these traditional publishers still exploring it. Yeah, we haven't heard about Ubisoft Quartz for a while, but the website's still up. It's still a service you can go and use for some reason.
And still
I
spend
don't
money
know
on it.
why. Yeah, exactly. I feel like I said, I feel like there's 75% of a point in there, but not a whole point. So I feel like I'm at 2 at the moment, and you're at 1.75. Personally, I think that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why. I'm sure you do think that. Number 5.
Don't worry, it's all gonna get better for you and far, far worse
for the whole rest of yours. Yeah, it's pretty downhill from here. Number 5 for me is a half point. I said that Horizon Forbidden West would release on time and that God of War Ragnarok would be delayed. Horizon, actually, they both came out on time, right? So
they did, yeah. I think because we hadn't seen anything about God of War Ragnarok for like 6 months at that point. We hadn't heard anything about it. We hadn't seen it. We didn't know anything other than a logo. I don't even think we had the name confirmed when we did this prediction.
I don't think we did.
Like it was like, okay, maybe that game's not coming out. It'll probably get pushed into 2023, but obviously it didn't, and it was up for Game of the Year. Probably will be your Game of the Year, I would imagine, when we come back in January.
We'll have to see. Okay.
My number 5.
Yes.
An Xbox controller, a new Xbox controller with adaptive triggers will be announced. No, it was not. Unfortunately, we did get a new Xbox controller. We got the new Series 2 Core Xbox Elite controller, but no adaptive triggers on it, which was a real shame. I should have done the opposite. That PlayStation would do a Pro controller, but
That's
hindsight's a bitch.
It's unfortunately a bit of a trend for you. You know, it's like there's like one or two where you were like kind of like you were close about like you were close broadly, right? But it was like it wasn't quite right, and it's like, oh shoot, oh well. Okay.
Yeah.
So my next one was that Sony will reveal their first new internal PS5 IP.
I don't remember this.
So we have Forspoken. Oh, that's not internal though.
It's not internal.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's Square Enix.
Yeah, that's they're like it's exclusive, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not theirs.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't think they.
And we agreed that this didn't count like Marvel games and things like that because they were licensed. It had to be fresh. And
Yeah, it
new
had to be
from
a
Sony.
PlayStation internal project.
Well, I don't think we've seen anything this year. Because Returnal doesn't even count really as theirs because they bought them after the fact.
Right. Yeah, that's not the same. Yeah, I don't think there is one. Right? Because like the only new internal game that they've announced would be Wolverine.
The new, yeah, we've had like The Last of Us, like multiplayer game. It's unnamed and we don't know about. But I guess not a new IP.
Yeah. So no. So that one's a no.
It's all right. My next one's a no. A new Astro game will be announced. Real shame that it wasn't because I love.
Kind of surprised, honestly. I thought that was a safe bet.
Yeah, especially with PlayStation VR 2. I kind of presumed they would have something that went along with that. I think that was my thinking when I said this. Either they go with the full Astro game that we kind of assume is in the works, or they bring Astro back and he's now in VR again. But no, it didn't happen.
Yeah, it's surprising. I figured that was a safe bet. But I think it speaks to a couple of the ones that didn't come out were things because like there was no major like PlayStation like showcase this year.
Yeah, watch all of these come true in January.
Yeah, I bet you a bunch of them will. Okay, so my number 7 was worldwide chip shortages will continue console droughts into 2023, and it's still basically impossible to get a PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm giving you a full point for that one. I'm not going to argue the toss with that. It's impossible to buy a PlayStation or an Xbox Series X at Christmas. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Horizon Forbidden West will be available on PC in 2022, and no, it is not available in 2022.
Yeah, I think you're still just
2023 though.
I think you're still just a little bullish on the timeline there. Yeah, I think
probably April, maybe May next year.
Maybe, I don't know though. Like, because there's still a lot of games in the pipe that haven't made it yet.
Yeah, but they're not going in order. Like, look at the Spider-Man games, and they brought those out. We've got Returnal coming next, but the Returnal's coming after The Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they're just going here, there, and everywhere as to what fits at the time, I guess, or what's ready.
Yeah.
Some of the games might be easier to port than others if they've already got the engine for the Uncharted collection. I would imagine it's a similar engine used on The Last of Us, and they can use some of that groundwork that they already did to bring that game over. In the same way that Spider-Man and Miles Morales made sense to go hand in hand. It's the same engine. It's just a different game.
Absolutely. All right, so number 8 for me was both Xbox and PlayStation will make at least one major studio acquisition each. They both made several.
Which ones? Can you remember?
Yeah, so for PlayStation, they acquired, it was what, Blue Point and...
Bungie.
Oh yeah, Bungie. Yeah, I forgot about that little studio. And then they did, who's the people that do the PC ports?
Nixus,
and there was one other one. but I can't remember who they are.
The people behind Returnal, Housemarque.
Housemarque, right? We were just talking about that. They acquired them after Returnal, though. So yeah, so they've snapped up a bunch of people, and then obviously Xbox, made move to acquire Activision Blizzard.
Not happened yet though. So do I really go in and be like, well, that acquisition hasn't happened yet? Like, what happens if that falls through? And this is the deciding point. Does the trophy come to me then? Do we like go back in time and go, actually, that acquisition didn't happen?
No,
it's not gone through yet.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's how that works.
No, no, of course not.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think from my point of view, no, it would work that way.
No, yeah. I'm sure if it was the other way around, it would work that way.
No, come on. If that had been your prediction, I wouldn't be sitting here arguing, well, it didn't go through yet. It's like, come on. They made an acquisition. Whether if it gets blocked, it gets blocked. But like they
haven't technically made an acquisition. They've made an offer.
They've committed. They've committed to making
an
acquisition pending legal approval, which I think counts.
I think we're gonna need that on the prediction next year.
Fine. If you want to make that stipulation for next year, I'll have that conversation at that point. But you want to put an asterisk next to my victory, then in that context, I'll accept that. But I think it's safe to say that one counts.
My next prediction was Activision Blizzard will unionize.
No,
and I'm at least getting something for this.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I fucking am. They've had 2 unions at their studio now.
That's not what you said. You didn't say an Activision Blizzard studio would unionize. You didn't say
Activision Blizzard is unionized.
Listen, Steve, no, they are not unionized. And if you're going to get nitpicky about my stuff, then I'm going to get nitpicky about your stuff.
That should be half the point.
It should absolutely not be half a point.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing, Steve. Here's the thing. I'll give you this. If you agree that my 1 and 2 are 75% points, then I'll give you that's a half point.
They're not though.
Then this is not either. This is not even. I am hesitant to even give you a 25% point.
A union. 2 unions were formed.
That's not what you said.
Blizzard.
You didn't say a union.
It's
you said
the same thing.
No, it isn't. Ask any union lawyer what Activision Blizzard unionizing would mean. It would mean the company is unionized. The company does not have a union. The testers at a studio formed a union, and then there's been a process to start. I don't think the second one is even fully formed yet, is it?
It won legal recognition at the beginning of December, so I think it has now.
Well, congratulations to them. And does that matter? Yes, it's great. But it does not give you your point, and it's certainly not a half point.
I think it is. I think
No.
I think at least something. The word union's in there, Activision Blizzard's in there. I feel like something should be given for that, right?
No. I'd say the highest I would give you is 25% on that.
I'll take 25. I'll take anything at this point.
Because that's.
I'll take these pity points. I don't care.
Because I honestly think you don't deserve it.
What? Why? Come on.
Because you're nitpicking mine over the same level of screw. Like, this is not what you had said. You said that the company was going to have it's.
Well, I mean, I can't remember what I said because it was 50 episodes ago. But
no, that's not what you meant, and you know
someone needs to go back and listen and find out, I guess.
No, you're crazy. You're crazy.
If they didn't unionize, Xbox didn't make an acquisition.
That's not true.
That is true. Xbox.
No, it isn't. That's not the same thing.
That is.
No, it isn't.
Same thing.
It's not. It's absolutely not at all. And you are 100% just trying to game the system right now.
No, I'm not. What acquisition has happened in 2022?
You know what acquisition has happened. It is pending legal approval.
It's not gone through then.
That's not what we're arguing. They have legally agreed. No, it isn't.
Your thing says. Yours says.
Yeah, and your thing says Activision Blizzard will unionize. Not there will be a union within Activision Blizzard. That's not your point.
It's give and take, P. That's my point. You got a full point for that. I let that one slide.
Not at all.
I feel like I should get something for this
you're
one.
not letting a full point slide. You're crazy. Because even in that scenario, I'd have a half point. You're nuts. You're nuts if you think you're getting away with a
I'm
point.
saying I'd
A
let you
point.
have the full point. I'd let you have the full point.
Then let
Even
me
though
have the
that acquisition-
75%. Let me have the
Even though
75.
that acquisition has not gone through.
Let me have the
that
75
acquisition
then.
Did not go through. What 75?
Let me have the 75% on 1 and 2 instead of half.
No, that's 50. That's
No.
50. And you know it's 50.
Then
Yeah,
I know
that's a
yours. I know
two-part
yours is
question.
25. You're crazy.
This is why I didn't want to do half points, and it should have just been no. Pete lost the first 2.
Fine. If we're going by that, then you've got nothing.
Yeah, I've got the top one. I've got number 1 and number 4, which pegs me with the same as. So your number 1 would be wrong. Your number 2 would be wrong. Maybe your number 3. Your number 5 would be wrong. Your number 7 would be correct.
No, we're not doing half
number
points. We
8 would
can't
be
do
wrong.
2 parts.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't do 2
I
part
know
predictions.
that's what I'm
then,
saying. So we set like you wanted to.
yeah,
do, like,
you
these
agreed to
fraction
rules, and now
points
you're
doing
mad that
that.
you're losing again.
I'm
I know.
saying.
I know what
I'm
you're
saying.
doing. I know what you're
I'm
doing.
saying.
You're a snake.
I'm saying
You're
you,
a snake,
you
Steve.
wanted these fraction points.
Yeah,
And then
I
you
did.
don't like it when the fractions don't work in your favor.
That's not true.
That's what it is.
What do you mean? I'm completely fine with. You've talked me out of several of mine. All
So
right.
your number 8 is a 50%. Is that right?
No, it's not.
You cannot tell me who Xbox has acquired this year.
Yes, I can. They've made an acquisition.
can.
They've agreed to an acquisition of Activision.
They've agreed, but it hasn't gone through. They've not acquired them, right? It could quite easily fall through. They're being investigated by the UK, the EU, and the FTC. I think there's a very high chance that
I
does not
think you're
happen.
crazy if you think it's not going through when they allowed Disney to buy Fox.
It was a different administration.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see. I don't even need it. I don't even need it to beat you.
You don't need it. That's the thing. So that's why I'm bringing you down.
You're just fighting tooth and nail. All right, fine. So we argued those enough. My number 9 is Rivet and Kit will be revealed. It's a Miles Morales style spinoff.
That's sad that didn't happen.
I
That's a
know.
great game.
I really want that to happen.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it would have been really cool, but I guess they got too busy with like too many other projects. That they were probably assisted Nixies with the ports of the PC versions of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They've got Spider-Man 2 coming next year. They've got a Wolverine game in the works. I would imagine there probably is a plan to do a Ratchet and Clank follow-up at some point. It's just when does that happen when you've got so many other projects on the go?
Yeah, I think it's just the type of thing that it seems like they just do not have time for right now.
Yeah.
They're incredibly busy. You know, I don't understand how they juggle like so many projects at a time.
No, me neither.
And that they're all good, right? Like, when's the last time they put out something that was mid? You know, like a long time ago.
Yeah. I think it's great. Like, I think they're one of the best studios in the game. They famously don't crunch. I think that everyone that works there seems to enjoy working at Insomniac. It's
Almost every game they put out is a game of the year contender.
Studio.
You know,
Yeah.
It's a well-managed studio that has a really, really good pool of creative talent. They've zeroed in on what they're good at, and they know how to just churn out hits now. It's nuts. God bless them.
My number 9, Half-Life Alyx will come to consoles. So my thought process here was PSVR 2 was going to come out, obviously, as per my prediction. I thought that we were going to get Half-Life Alyx come to PlayStation 5. I think it still might happen at some point. Obviously, Valve has put games on consoles, and I think probably their next game will come to console, Neon Prime. But Half-Life Alyx, not been announced, so not coming.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, number 10. Video games will continue to take over movies, TV. At least 2 critically acclaimed, certified fresh by Rotten Tomatoes adaptations will be released.
Have you found 2 yet?
No, I don't think so. let me see. Let me see if I can back this up. Because
this was really tough. I remember crafting this one with you last year because you were like, "Yeah, they're going to be critically acclaimed." I'm like, what does that mean? And it means it's certified fresh by Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, fine. We can go with that.
So I have at least one. Dragon
Which
Age
is?
Absolution has 100% on Tomato Meter right now.
Is it certified fresh?
It has 100%. Come on.
Is it certified fresh?
It just came out, you know? Like you gotta work with me a little bit.
No, because those reviews haven't settled yet. If it just came
Yeah,
out.
but
Whereas
it's
if you go
not.
to like the homepage. And
Yeah,
you
but
click
Steve,
on
here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. You know, if you're gonna go and start picking apart decisions we made in the past that we agreed to, how do you get away with Activision Blizzard will unionize, or you get away with stuff
Right.
like, oh, a developer will say a thing, the most general thing at any conference, but I gotta have two, and they have to have this very specific. Like, come on, man.
You agreed to it. When you agreed to it,
And you agreed.
that-
You agreed to, you know, a lot of things, and you're out here arguing that that's not how it works now.
No,
Yeah.
not the same at all.
It is.
I remember crafting this one.
I
with
know,
you
'cause
last
you're a
year,
cheater.
and you agree. Because I said to you, I knew this shit was going to happen last
Yeah,
year. and I
because
was
you're
like,
a cheater.
You're going to come in, you'll be like, no, well, I think it's great. So yeah.
No, that was what I was
going
gonna
to
say.
Great,
I was gonna say that it would have to clear a bar like this, but you're like, oh, it's gotta be certified fresh. It's gotta be this. It's gotta be that. You're a cheater,
You
man.
agreed that it was going to be certified fresh. I would imagine. What's the anime?
Cyberpunk?
for- No, the other one. Did that come out this year?
Which one?
The one that won best adaptation.
See, like I this also has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
The problem is it's who has reviewed it.
But who
And
cares?
so
Outlets
so
did.
certified fresh is based on a certain number of outlet reviews. I'm looking at Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I cannot read a single review here. I do not know where the reviews are.
Yeah, but it has 100. You know, you can. I just
Yeah.
clicked through. I'm seeing right here. Paste Magazine, 8.5. Double Toasted. They don't have numbers, but they said they liked it. They gave it a positive tomato. Let me see who else we got here. We got Forbes, right? Like these are IGN. Like come on, comicbook.com. These are legitimate publications who reviewed this, and it has an average positive review. It's 100%. How does that not count? Like, come on.
Because you said certified fresh. That's
No,
why it
you
doesn't
said that.
count.
You said that, you cheater. And you know it. That's why you
I'm
did
not
it.
cheating.
That's why you
what the
did it.
prediction
That's why you
says.
did it. That's why you did it.
No, it's not why I did it. No,
It
it's
is.
not.
It is.
There must be other things that came out this year, right? That like what movies came out?
Well, no, those aren't good. That's the problem. You know, like Sonic the Hedgehog is not certified fresh. You know?
I think next year Mario probably will be certified fresh.
No.
Yeah, because
See,
it's a threshold
and here's
of like
here's
8.
another, man. Come on. Friggin' Arcane League of Legends was the thing that won best adaptation. It also
That's
has
the one I was
100%
thinking of, yeah.
on, but it's not certified fresh because not enough people reviewed it because people don't want to watch fucking video game adaptations. It's not my fault.
That also came out in 2021. So
No, I know, but I was just looking at it as an example.
yeah.
The
that
other
one
two
that came out
shows
last year.
that I was banking on hit the bar that we both know I'm talking about.
Okay. What are the shows? Let me see. What are the shows? So one of them was Edge Runners.
Cyber, yeah, and then
And
the other one is
I don't actually think these were the shows you were thinking of. You were thinking of Halo when we spoke about it. It was one of the shows.
oh, and
that
I
you were
was
like,
very confident.
Halo adaptations coming out.
I was like, that might be okay. I was confident Sonic would be clear, and it didn't. But yeah, no, it's Dragon Age Absolution, which has 100% from critics.
Dragon Age.
And I will say it has a low audience review, but it's because it got review bombed because there's queer characters. So, but yeah,
See, it's only 7 reviews. That's
Sonic 2.
why they're
Yeah,
not
but it's
getting
only
certified fresh.
been out for like 2
Yeah.
weeks.
I think that discounts it. I mean,
Yeah, and like here's the thing, right? Sonic, it's 69% on Tomato Meter, which is not rotten.
It's not
but
enough.
It's not
No.
certified fresh. But the audience score 96. That's 96%. Oh,
Look, I'm
clean.
willing to. I think
Acclaim.
I'm willing to give you a half point here.
I'll take a half point. I'll take a
I
half.
think they continue to take over movies and TV.
Was bullshit.
You have not
Well,
demonstrated.
no, they have. There are a lot of them. They're just not They're not all
Yeah,
landing.
they're not good. Yeah. You just have not demonstrated that they're good.
I'll take a half point there. I think I have demonstrated that there's
You've demonstrated that 2 Netflix shows,
3.
but from the same studio,
No.
are good.
Not all from the same studio. They're all produced by Netflix, but I think they're all different teams.
I thought the 2 anime ones were the same. Edge Runners and Arcane were maybe.
Are they the same studio?
Team. I don't know. Haven't watched them.
I'm not sure on that one, but I'll take.
Looking forward to seeing Glass Onion though. Now I'm on here.
Oh my god, me too. I just saw Knives Out for the first time, and I'm like, yo, let's go.
Knives Out's fantastic.
It was great. I loved it.
Daniel Craig learned how to do an American accent after the disaster that was Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Oh my gosh, yeah, his foghorn leghorn accent was incredible. Okay, number 10 for you.
People will say Cyberpunk 2077 is finally good after the next gen release, and it will have a redemption arc like No Man's Sky. Now, I feel like people did say it was good. And I remember
definitely did not have a redemption arc like No Man's Sky.
Not, but I feel like something here. I think I deserve something, especially considering even you, Pete, said you were excited by the DLC with Idris Elba.
No. I didn't say I was excited. I said I was going to play it to completion.
I think you did. I think you said I'm going to play it to completion because I loved Cyberpunk 2077 after the next gen update, and it's really had a redemption arc like
that's not what happened.
I remember those.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say to you, Steve. I just googled the phrase Cyberpunk 2077 is finally good after the next gen release, right? To see like, you know, if there's people out here defending it, right?
Well, I have a Twitter DM that defends it. Just let me to read it for you.
No, unsolicited Twitter DMs are not admissible in this court. I'm sorry. But I'm just saying, I see one article from tomsguide.com that says it. It says
there are multiple.
It says it's finally worth buying.
There's one on Screen Rant too.
What's the title?
Said, is Cyberpunk 2077 good now? Why millions are playing again? And it's talking about how it's had a sudden surge, both from the Netflix spin-off, but then also the fact that they had the next gen update and it's really vastly improved.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like it did have a bit of a resurgence, and I feel like maybe next year is the time with the DLC that more people revisit it. But I do think that the update fixed a lot of stuff.
I'll give it to you. I think this one qualifies enough for a half.
Okay. I'll take the half. That's fine with me.
I think it is.
I'm still a big fat loser. But
I think a lot of people definitely said that it's good after release. I don't think it's had a redemption arc, but
no, it's not yet. But I feel like it could because The Witcher 3 did.
It could.
I feel like it could, but not.
The Witcher 3 didn't have a redemption arc. The Witcher 3 was released and it was a classic. What are you talking about?
No, it was not. They ended up having to give free DLC for that game as well.
They gave the DLC out for free because of that? I don't remember that being the reason.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure that's why.
I don't think so, man. I think you're misremembering. I mean, I could be wrong for sure, but I remember my roommate in college buying that on the 360 at launch and playing it, and it was like game of the year, and for a lot of people.
Yeah, apparently it was buggy at launch, had bad inventory management, small text sizes, builds that wouldn't have any effect. There's a bunch of things, and they ended up patching it. Don't think it was anywhere near Cyberpunk's level.
Yeah,
but,
I don't think it was like. Yeah, that's where I was tripped up. It's like that feels like a harsh comparison.
Definitely not anywhere near Cyberpunk's level.
Every game launches with bugs.
Yeah.
Okay. So my risky pick was that Naughty Dog will release The Last of Us Factions to coincide with the HBO series. Totally wrong on all accounts. Neither of those came out this year.
Neither of them came out this year. So
no.
It's really unfortunate.
That's why it's risky.
I also don't think. I mean, maybe this is stupid of me to say because you might want to put this as your risky pick next year. I also don't think Last of Us Factions is coinciding with the HBO series next year, considering that's out in February.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it could literally but I think what's probably more likely at this point is they do a Last of Us collection that's like part 1 and part 2,
yes,
and then that launches alongside factions, and
I made it.
factions is like a separate free-to-play experience, or like you could buy it, like Ghost of Tsushima Legends or something like that, and it's like supported by microtransactions or whatever, or you buy the pack and then you get some kind of like founder's pass or something like that, and you get like exclusive skins.
Yeah.
You can play as
I just double checked.
Joel and Ellie.
I just
whatever.
double checked the date, and I don't think it's happening. It's the 15th of January. It's coming out.
Yeah, I don't think so. So what was yours?
My final one, risky pick, Microsoft will acquire Bungie. And no kidding, a week after that, we
You
did
were
this.
so close. You were
PlayStation
so
bought them.
close.
I was so mad. I was so fucking mad.
Oh, it's so funny because like if you had phrased it in a different way, right? Like if you had been like Bungie will get acquired.
Bungie will be acquired.
Yeah, like it would have. Yeah, you would have been. That would have been a slam dunk for 2 points. That would have been a big deal.
Yeah. Genuinely thought it was going to happen. I genuinely thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But no.
Crazy.
Wouldn't it have been great for them to work on Halo again and actually make like
I don't think they'd want
great
to.
online experience?
I don't think they would.
No,
want
you're probably right. They probably don't want to. But yeah. So where do we land? I've got what?
You got one.
3 points.
Yeah.
In total.
No.
If
3 points. No, you have
total.
3.75.
Do I? No, I have. No, I was counting this one as a half point.
I'm not
and
giving
this
you
one's a
half for that.
point.
I'm not. I'm just not. You can have 25%.
So it's 2.75 then.
Yeah, 2.75 is where you're at. Because there's no way.
Okay, you've got 2.5 and 3, 4, 5.5. 5.5 versus my 2.5.
Let's go!
Not great year for me.
Not a great year for you. That's true. Pretty great one for me. So I'll say this, Steve. It is an honor to win this competition another year in a row. With such esteemed competitors. Just kidding! Bam! I slammed you! Twice as many points! Are you kidding me? Unbelievable! That's why they call me the champ, Steve. And now it's time to unveil the trophy for the winner!
Oh my god.
Again, 2 years in a row, Steve. And here it is. Here it
nice
is.
cloth.
Unveiled. And it is this, and now here, and for you audio listeners, we have a microphone.
Watch the YouTube video.
It's a microphone.
What you should do.
Right? It's a microphone trophy. But here's the thing, Steve. Here's the thing. I know you won't know this because you live in the UK, but I was informed that the trophy that's given for the Super Bowl is named after the person who won it the first 2 times. So that's why this is called the Mbesi Trophy. Forever, Steve, because I am the winner 2 years running.
When that makes it over here, that's getting changed.
No, it's not. This is the Mbesi Trophy.
I'm putting a sticker over.
You can't do that. It will forever be the Mbesi Trophy. And yeah, Steve, maybe you got a chance. We have enough space here. So this is our first 2 years right here, right? We got enough space for 2 more on this one, so we can get 4, 8, 12. So you got 10 years for you to try and win this guy from me.
Get there
before we have to get a second one.
Although of course Max is gonna be
let him step up to the
be
plate.
in the runnings for it this year.
Let him step up to the plate. I'd love to have some competition.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yeah, see, because it'll be nice for you, right? Because then that way, if I win, you could beat him still, though, right? You could take home the silver medal.
Oh yeah, like at the TGAs. I remember. It'd feel nice not to come in last place.
Yeah, you could do that. So get ready, bone up for next year. You gotta get those predictions in. But in all seriousness, it's great. I'm really happy to win this. I'm gonna have to build a little shelf for it so it can sit right behind me and everybody can see it.
A shelf and a little spotlight.
Yeah, every week.
And just needs it.
Yeah. So huge shout out to my good friend Pep, who is my bandmate's father-in-law, who made this trophy for us custom. He's a real one. Thank you for the support, Pep.
Thank you.
And It feels good, Steve. I'm not gonna lie to you. It feels good to take home the gold yet again. But you know what? It's gonna feel even better to lay down our next round of predictions in just a couple weeks, right? Of course, I didn't get a chance to say this at the top, so I'll tell you now that we'll be doing our game of the year when we come back in January. That'll be our first episode back, and then our next one, of course, is going to be predictions for 2023. So make sure you tune in for that because it's going to be a good time. So we're about to jump into the question block. And before we do that, let me remind you that this episode of the FlipScreen Games Podcast, the last episode of the FlipScreen Games Podcast for 2023, is brought to you by our Patreon producers for the month of December. They are, of course, Christian Oliveira, Christopher Valenz, Gabriel Hasselmeyer, a.k.a. Asobi, Mary Barry, Waka Hula, and Zaid Ida. Thank you all so much for your support this year over on patreon.com/FlipScreenGames. Y'all are the realest of the real, and we really appreciate the support you give to this and all of our sister shows and all the awesome content that we've been making this year. It's been a huge one, and it's been incredible to see us hit 1K over on YouTube and just cross a lot of thresholds that we thought were going to be tough to hit this year. And we're really, really, really stoked about what we've got cooking for next year. So thank you guys for being on the journey with us and for believing in what we're doing here. Thanks for being a member of the community. So let's jump into the question block. This one comes from Andy Rads, who wrote in and said, some lucky people will be receiving an Xbox or PS5 this Christmas. What games on Game Pass and PS Plus would you all recommend checking out?
It's a tough one, right? Because there's a lot of stuff. I'm going to go with Game Pass because I've still not checked out the PS Plus thing.
Well, you can
So
look it up.
hopefully you can do some research and fill in on the PS Plus side of things while I'm talking about Game Pass. But it really depends on your tastes. I think for like actual games that I would probably play instantly, just some of like the games that I consider some of the best of the year, like Vampire Survivors, Monkey Island's on there. Um, I think it's worth checking out Pentiment, fantastic game.
Yeah, I'm looking
But
forward
then
to
if
playing
you've
that one this holiday season.
But if you've not like Persona 5 Raw, you can join in with the game club that we're doing at the moment. If you want to catch up with that, then definitely check out Persona 5, which is there. Obviously, all the Persona games are coming there. But there's tons of stuff on the service, and obviously every single day one Xbox release is there. If you've missed out on a bunch of them, you can go back and play stuff like Forza Horizon 5. Um, even
Halo
stuff
Infinite.
like Halo Infinite, Deathloop. If you've not played that yet, if it was, you were waiting out for it.
My number one game on Xbox was actually Psychonauts 2. So that's another great one.
Really?
Yeah.
My number one was Elden Ring. But obviously that's not on Game Pass, but still well worth checking out, I would say. Citizen Sleeper is worth checking out as well. Fantastic game. There's absolutely tons on there.
The Walking
I would
Dead,
say
the first season I played earlier this year, that was an old one. I went back and played Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2. Both of those were on Game Pass. As Dusk Falls, of course, won at the Game Awards this year, an award for the Games for Impact. That's another one you could pick up over there.
one of my dad's favorite games this year was Washing Simulator as well. That's on Game Pass if you want something just to kill time and relax with.
Coffee
Fantastic
Talk
game.
is on there. That's
Coffee
another
Talk's
great one.
great. The Hitman trilogy. If you want to like just start the Hitman games, if you've never played them before, they're some of the best games of all time, in my opinion. And you can play through the majority of the levels without needing to buy anything. And there's some DLC if you want to play that as well.
You want to talk about some of the best games ever made? I would say the Dishonored series is one that I always call out. Those are all on there as well.
Yeah, Life is Strange True Colors is on there now as well,
Yup.
which I've been meaning to check out. And I liked Tell Me Why as well. I thought that was a really great story, especially if you
Yes.
want to see some like queer characters get really good representation. That one's well worth checking out. But yeah, really great service. I really hope that people who picked up those Xbox Series S's for cheap take the time and go through it and try new things. don't just stick to the genres that you're used to and the games that you're used to. Game Pass is kind of like an all-you-can-eat buffet. Gives you the ability to try stuff out, something new that you've never played before, and it might turn out to be one of your new favorite genres,
And
and you never know. Like I tried Elden Ring for the first time this year, my first ever Souls game, and it's like been a gateway for me.
that was on Game Pass.
No, it wasn't, but my point
You're
is that
making
you
the
can
point.
try
Okay,
new
I got you.
things.
I
Yeah.
got you. Mass Effect Legendary Edition is on there, so I would highly recommend that
Oh.
one. But yeah, I think that's the best thing about these services, and specifically Game Pass, is like I tried Mental Hellslinger last night because that obviously got some attention critically this year, and I wanted to give it a shot. And I do not like rhythm games, and it only cemented my dislike of rhythm games. So it was great that I was able to boot that up and give it a shot, and see if it was for me, and was like, yeah, it's not. That's fine though, right? Like at least I tried it.
Makes absolutely no sense to me that you hate rhythm games. You're a drummer.
That's what
Like,
Sarah said to
like,
me, and it's because it always feels awkward. Like it's just like this is not actually where the beat is. Like the latency is always. It's so hard to get it to be no latency, right? To be like it just feels like actually on the beat.
have you
And
tried plugging it in, like with a USB cable, and seeing if that
no,
helps?
that might work. I don't want to. It's just
Yeah.
like also like I was sitting there. I'm just like even when I'm hitting it on the beat, I'm like this is just not as fun as like an action game where I can just do whatever I want at whatever pace. Like that feels
Well,
natural.
yeah, fair enough. I mean, there are some fantastic rhythm games that I absolutely adore. Tetris Effect is on Game Pass as well,
And
and
that's great.
that's phenomenal. That is well worth checking out, especially if you have a TV that supports HDR. You just get like, bam, bashed in the face with like the light. It's so cool.
So
So
for
fucking cool.
the PlayStation side of the fence, we've got, and I'm just gonna recommend games that we like, not just cool games that are on the service. But there's
Yeah,
Deathloop.
I've been wanting to do something that a couple of other outlets do, which is just make like a definitive list of like some 10 of our favorite games of all time that we recommend people play, and maybe we revisit every now and again, and we like swap some games out. It would be really cool, like
Dude, yeah,
exercise to just be like,
I'd love to do that.
these games are our favorite games on PlayStation,
I'll
like
tell
the
you what.
best games on PlayStation.
There's something else I'd love to do is doing. I want to make a definitive our definitive 100 best games of all time.
Yeah, I think it would be so cool. And
But
obviously that's going to change as new games
but
come
I'd
out.
want to
Maybe we like work at it.
I'd want that to be two distinct lists of our individual top 10s should be based on our personal taste, and I think the top 100 should be based on history and influence and like all like so you can stump for games that speak to your taste, but we would want to put like, like neither
Put
of us
Toy
like
Story
really
2 at number 1 because it's the best game of all time.
Of course, right. But yeah, like neither of us are like Call of Duty fans, right? But like there's a Call of Duty game on the top 100 games of all time list,
Yeah.
probably, right? Things like that.
In my head, like I'm already like, yeah, I know what number 1 is, but then I know that we would argue about it, so it's like, oh,
What do you think number 1
interesting.
is? Just
Tetris.
I might get behind that actually. I think that's actually a good take actually.
Yeah, I think it's one of the greatest games of all time. It's been on pretty much every platform. It will continue to be on every platform.
We could legitimately probably get like 3 episodes out of this because you have a one episode of just trying to get all the game. Like, okay, what like games are even in contention, right? And you make a list of like 500, and then you narrow it down, and then you rank it.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes.
Maybe
into
this
it,
is
but
like
that
a
would be a really
stream
fun
or something.
exercise.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe we do a stream where we set up the contestants, and then the episode where we go through the list is. Well, we'll talk about this.
I would just love to have somewhere to point people to, whether that's an episode, a website, whatever, where we can just say these are our tastes. So if you want to know, if you want to respect our takes on a game, and if you want to know if your tastes align with us, these are the games that we like, and these are the games that we consider the best of all time. I think it would be a really cool thing to do. So maybe that's something we do in 2023.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'd definitely be interested in that. All right, so on the PlayStation side of the fence, just to wrap this bit up, we have Deathloop. We have not a game that we've both played, but Demon Souls, right? Like you're into the Souls stuff now, and it's a good one. We got Final Fantasy VII Remake, Intergrade. There's Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, one of my favorite games. That would be on my favorite games of all-time list, I think. Grand Theft Auto Vice City Definitive Edition. What else we got on here? Guardians of the Galaxy, which I really loved. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, great game. Mortal Kombat 11. What else we got? Stray, which we both liked. Definitely worth, I think, trying and seeing if it's for you. And it, why not if it's for free?
I mean, it was up for Game of the Year, right? It won Best Indie at the Game Awards, so it's got to be.
I think you owe it a shot.
Got to be doing something right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we both liked it, right? It wasn't perfect, but we both enjoyed it enough to finish it. Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition is on there. That's a good one.
Oh, Bloodborne's on there. I've been meaning to check that out. I know you like the Batman Arkham games as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, my least favorite one, it's Arkham Knight, it's the only one that I am not crazy about. But a lot of people like it. So, yeah, there's lots of good stuff on there. I'm going through the PS4 list, seeing if there's anything else I want to shout out.
I know I'm going to check out God of War, the 2018?
Yeah, 2018. That is on there. Bloodborne, God of War. Yeah, I mean, you got to play that game, man. Celeste on here as well. Yeah, it's funny because I think
Marvel Spider-Man, that's there as well.
Days Gone is also on there. I think it's interesting because I think you'll like God of War. I think you'll really like Ragnarok. As somebody who has a good relationship with their dad, I think you'll get a lot out of it. So it's I'm excited for you to play 2018, but I'm so much more excited for you to play Ragnarok, and I know that that's really far away because you have to beat a whole other game first, and then you're gonna want to break.
Or I watch someone else beat it, and then I just go straight to it if Ragnarok's still on the Switch.
I don't think you'll get as much out of it if you don't play it. I think you need to play it and sit with it.
Go on that journey
yes.
through the first game.
Yeah, because the growth that the characters go through is, I think, what is so good about it. And if you're not there on that journey, it won't. It's like a Last of Us Part 1, Part 2 kind of deal, where I think you need to have really felt the original journey emotionally to really connect with what's going on in the second one, which is just so good. This game is messy, and the studio is obviously, marred with controversy, but Detroit Become Human is on there, and that's a game I had fun with. I like choosy games, I'd recommend Life is Strange over that, but, yeah, there's fun to be had. I definitely enjoyed that game for what it was. That was when Sarah and I played together, and we had some fun with it. We got Fallout 4, Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4.
Yeah, it's really crazy, Sony saying that Microsoft aren't willing to share any of their games, and there's a bunch of Bethesda titles on PlayStation Plus. It's what the hell?
Yeah, it is kind of funny. God of War,
stupid.
The original.
Yeah, all the Far Cries, but not the good ones.
No, the good ones are on there. They got 3 and 4.
3 and 4 is good. Yeah,
the 3 and 4 are the best ones.
5 and New Dawn are rough.
Yeah, I wouldn't play those. But 3 and 4, those are the good ones. I'd recommend those to anybody.
I did not like Far Cry Primal.
I never played it. I was wasn't really. I didn't feel like I needed another Far Cry when it came out, and then by the time I was ready for another one, the next game was out. So it's all right, cool.
Yeah, and also Toy Story 2. It's there.
Toy Story 2 is there.
As we spoke about on last week's episode, it's the best PlayStation 1 game on the platform.
Very, very popular. Nidhogg is on there. It's a really fun 2-player experience. Overcooked.
Which tier would you recommend? I think for me, I just go with the premium. I wouldn't go with the extra.
No, and there's good games on it, but I don't know. I feel like most of the good stuff you get on the second tier, and the stuff that you're mixing out on, it's not. You're probably just better off just buying it if you really want it. I think. Prey, Red Dead Redemption 2. You got some. Oh, Scott Pilgrim versus the World is on there now. You got some good stuff on here. You got some real good stuff. Tetris Effect is here too. Last Guardian. Yeah, Uncharted 4, and then Thief's Legacy, and Until Dawn, and that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. Those are the ones I recommend. Go play some games. All right, Steve. So we've got one more question. I'm gonna throw at you, and we'll call it a day here.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
All right. This one comes from AV over on the Discord. For 2023, do you have any gaming resolutions? I've got a few, including playing an actual JRPG and finally beating Celeste. I think this is a good one. We had a couple other questions that were like talking about stuff for next year, and we'll save those for, next year's predictions. But I think this is a good one to cap the year off on, right? Is there anything going into the year that, like, any games that you want to check off your backlog, or like attitudes you want to have towards playing?
I think off the top of my head, I need to stop buying things on sale just because they're on sale, and start buying things I'm gonna play there and then if I want it, and stop being enticed in with these sales, because I do it all the time, and my backlog just keeps growing and growing and growing, and I'm never gonna play them, so it's just like I'm just hoarding it at this point.
Yeah.
So I think that's something I need to stop doing. I'd like to fill some of the gaps in my gaming history. We've spoken about that before. Maybe that's something we do on stream. I'd like to stream more in terms of gaming. Whether we have time to do that, I don't know. And I want to complete some of the stuff I didn't complete this year. I want to finish Elden Ring. I want to make sure I hit the big titles. Right, I missed God of War Ragnarok this year because I didn't have that history with the first game. And that was a shame. Like, I would have liked to have been able to have that discussion and be in the discussion for that being my game of the year. It's not going to be because I've not played it, and it may well have been. I may well have said that actually that was the best game that came out this year. Where I was on Elden Ring, I don't think I will, but
I
don't
really
know,
hope that you do that for Spider-Man. I would love to be able to share that with you next year. It's a lot, though.
If Spider-Man comes out next year, but yeah,
I think it will. Insomniac updated,
I think so too. Yeah,
and said it was gonna Here's the thing: they don't usually delay games, which is the other crazy thing.
I know.
They don't crunch and they put the games out on time. I don't get it. They're weird, but they're pretty damn consistent. So I feel like you could probably take that one to the bank if they're telling you it's fall. All right, cool. November's fall.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's a long time.
And I also want to stop getting sucked up in hype of games I know I will hate or dislike. Hate's the wrong word, but I do it every time with a Pokemon game, right? I did it this time with Elden Ring, and it worked in my favor.
Yeah, that's the thing. Where do you draw the line, right? Because we did that with Metroid last year, and that ended up being our game of the year.
But I have tried Pokemon 10 times at this point.
Yeah.
I know they're not for me. Why do I keep going back to it? They've not reinvented it. They've not changed it.
I think what you got to do is you got to wait until I'm like, you got to play it. I'll tell you when I think you got to try it again. You know? I think we're a ways off from that.
What about you, though? What are your resolutions?
I definitely agree with you about wanting to stream more. That's something that even when we were streaming regularly, I wanted to find a way to do it more and kind of use that as an opportunity to play different kinds of games and, being like, let me go back to an old, I've been saying for years I want to replay Breath of the Wild. That would be a great excuse to do that on stream, right? Things like that. I could see things like that, but it's been tough, we've been busy doing other things, and as much as I enjoy streaming, it is something that takes a lot of energy, and it's there's a lot of work involved in being consistent.
It's just a time slot, right? It's it's time out of your day when we're already allocating, a whole day, a whole work day spent recording content and editing it and uploading it and stuff.
Yeah.
It's it's a long time.
I also have recognized, I know about myself that I don't enjoy making content by myself as much as I do making it with other people. And it being a thing where it's tough for us to coordinate a time slot that works for both of us and also doesn't preclude us from getting shows recorded.
I think maybe you need to see if you can stream with Sierra maybe, and I can stream with Max. And,
Yeah.
stuff that time slots that work best.
Yeah, and I think trying to figure out stuff like that, is something I'd like to dedicate energy to, because I do miss doing it, and I think there's a version of me or a version of our schedule where like I am doing something like that, and it's fun and it's rewarding. But it's tough because I also think a lot of the games I'm interested in streaming, I don't know how much our audience is interested in watching, and it's like, do I try to build?
They'll find an audience, believe me. Like I
Yeah,
streamed all of Shenmue 1, and last year I think some of the community said it was their favorite thing to watch that we
yeah,
put out, and
that's true.
it was crazy. So I kind of feel like feel like people will come. The thing is, the thing I found with streaming is if you're into it, the audience is into it with you.
Yeah.
Elden Ring was the same. I was so into it, and everyone wanted to come and watch and help me play that
I had
game.
a blast
was fun.
streaming that too, even though I was like not crazy about the game. It was just fun to play on stream because everyone was like, "Oh, you don't like it," like, or "Oh, you are having fun with it." There was energy around it being played.
Yeah, I mean that was the game of the moment.
Yeah.
It had a real moment this year.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's something I'm thinking about, and like I've thought about like, I would really love to play Mass Effect again and make different choices and like things like that. So I'm like,
You got to
maybe,
go in there as like I'm playing as a bastard, and like
yeah,
this is what I'm gonna do. That's
Yeah.
the route I'm going. Or maybe let the chat help with the choices.
yeah, just stuff like that I could do. Or like, I've never played as FemShep. Like I've only ever played as the Dude Shepherd. So like that's something I would like to try.
Got the best voice apparently.
Yeah, everyone says Jennifer Hale's performance is much better, and like there's different romance options if I do that, right? Like there are characters I've never had the option to romance that I could romance if I play her. So, like things like that would be fun. And that's something I kind of set resolutions last year that I didn't really set. They just kind of became part of my mantra. And one of them was, like you said, like not buying games just to buy them. Like buying games that I actually have intention to start.
Yeah, I wanted to do that, and then the Steam Deck ruined me.
And
So
I made that mistake once or twice. Like, don't get me wrong, I bought plenty of games on sale that like I didn't really play, or like I thought I was gonna start and didn't, or I didn't like playing them on the Steam Deck as much as I thought I would, and like things like that. Definitely cropped up, So I certainly wasn't immune to it, but I think I did a better job of it than I have in years past. I think Elden Ring was one of the only games that I allowed myself to be like, convinced into playing. And that was for content, right? So it was like whatever. So yeah, I feel like with stuff like that, like I was pretty happy with the way I diversified my playtime this year, and I'd like to kind of continue that. Like I'm torn, right? Because part of me feels like I wish I had given more time to playing indies and like checking out some of the stuff I missed this year. But I also had a really great time going back and playing retro games that I love and that I hadn't played in years, and kind of like going through the exercise.
You gotta play what's fun at times.
Yeah, and I think what that says to me is one of the things I want to figure out is how do I like, and I don't have to, right? But like it would be cool to do something with that, right? Like when I am going back and playing this old game and like having all these thoughts about like how does it compare to when I played it back then, and like what is it about this that really like stands the test of time and things like that.
I mean, there's also you could do. You could stream. You could do video essays. You could like do anything.
Yeah, and I think something like that it sounds appealing to me, and like I it's something I've been thinking about, and I'm trying to like figure out what that looks like, and like what format I kind of want that to take. So I think those are like things like content wise that I'm interested in, is like I want to make more room for myself to play retro games and like old favorites and replay games that I think are worth replaying. And like I'm really enjoying replaying Persona 5, and like it's great that I have a reason to do that, because I've wanted to replay it.
I have not played any more of that game. I've not had a chance.
You got time. You got a month. We delayed it.
God. I have played like 0 video games in like the last 2 weeks.
You've been busy. But yeah, so I like having the excuse to do those things, and like I know that being able to connect it to the work helps me be able to be like, oh yeah, like it's worth doing this, right? For beyond just the fun of it, So I think I want to continue to do that. I want to continue to just kind of like allow um my gut to dictate what the next thing I'm playing is, rather than being like, oh, I should try this and so I can talk about it. It's like we've built.
Just be more like me. Just stop playing games when they're not fun anymore.
That's not my problem though. Like I don't usually keep playing a game if I'm not enjoying it. I enjoy too many games.
Yeah,
So
fair.
it's super easy to be like, oh, like with God of War, right? Like I picked that up and I put like 50 hours into it, but because I didn't have a ton of time to play, it's the only thing. It's been totally monopolizing my time the last couple of weeks, right? And it's
Yeah.
like I struggle with the idea that there are more games that I will enjoy than I could ever play. And how do you prioritize your time when that's a reality? You know,
Yeah. You quit your job and you just play. You become a full-time streamer,
that's what we're working on.
and you play them on stream. Done. So problem solved. There
Thanks
you
for
go.
1K,
That's the
everybody.
that's the resolution for 2020.
Yeah, that's my resolution is everybody go support our Patreon so much that I can play old games for a living. Yeah, that sounds great, Steve. But yeah, I think that's it, right? It's like chase the fun, and let the content follow. Because everybody wants to hear what we're excited to talk about, right? Less like we
Yep.
don't even talk about what we're playing on the show anymore.
You don't need to. I mean, we sort of do. Everyone knows I'm obsessed with Vampire Survivors. So
Yeah. But I
it
also
slips
think
in.
I think that's the thing I also want to figure out is like I would like there to be an avenue for us to have that conversation on content, right? Where we're like,
Yeah,
oh,
well,
I've been playing
we've
this.
spoken about that.
So like that's
We know there's going to be changes in the new year. So
yeah. So there's things like that are definitely like, going around in my old noodle. But I think by and large, I'm happy with the changes I made this year, and I want to continue that.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Steve. Any final words for the folks?
Just thank you so much, everyone, for listening this year. It's been or watching or sharing or like joining the community on Discord, and it's been amazing to see the stuff that we've made, and the channel grow, and the sheer number of people that have watched some of the stuff that we've put out is just insane to me. I never thought we would get to that point, this maybe ever, but certainly not this quickly. Um, there's a trajectory since we started putting out like Steam Deck content. We gained like 800 plus subscribers in like 2 months. It's been bananas. Um, and I can, it's very humbling. I can only say thank you so many times, but thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I echo all of Steve's sentiments. Yeah, I think this year's been really special. I've really enjoyed the work that we've done. I think we've managed to grow the channel in a really meaningful way, and in a way that I think will allow us to continue to grow as we kind of build out more resources and bring on more talent. I'm really excited to kind of see what we can achieve together, and when I say together, I mean, not just us here, but you, the community, right? Because
Yeah.
like we're building this thing together, the community that we have is just as much yours as it is ours, right? So thank you to everybody who chooses to spend time with us and who tunes into the shows or watches the tutorials or comes to the streams whenever we get back to doing those. Yeah, however you found us, thanks for being a part of it and sticking around and caring about what we think and caring enough. Some of you caring enough to support with your dollars on Patreon and all that stuff too. It's extremely humbling, and it's something that I really I hope you know how much it means to us, and that we don't take it for granted. So yeah, thank you again, and I hope I hope in this week off that you guys have a happy holiday, and I hope whatever you're celebrating, or if you're celebrating, that you're spending it with people that you love, and that you're playing some good games too.
Yeah, I want to know what everyone's playing. So let us know in the comments. Hop on Discord. Come say hello to us if you've not joined the Discord before. The community over there is phenomenal. It's really nice. Friendly bunch of folks that are just there to talk about games or dunk on Elon Musk. So if you like doing either of those two things, you'll have a great time on Discord.
Yeah, come on, and be a part of what we're building. So, for the last time, thank you guys for joining us here on another episode of the FlipScreen Games Podcast. We're going to be back in 2023 with our Game of the Year and a bunch more good content for the crew. I've been Pete. He's been Steve. We'll see you next year, baby. Mwah!